Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Food Wars, the 5th plate, or you could call it Shokugeki no Souma, Go Sara, which is on episode 10. Now, this episode right here was actually pretty nice, and I could see a lot of people are still not liking it because of other reasons alone. But for me, I think it was still memorable for me in my eyes, and I know it's something that I shouldn't be giving too much positivity because of what happened in this arc, but hey, man, I'll get to that points once we reach our final recap and my final thoughts, So if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that Souma talks to Asahi saying that he has every intention of taking to the top, etc. Eventually they end up taking separate ways, and then we have to it that we go to a scene with Nakiri and Souma and Megumi talking to each other, and Megumi is shocked to see that you're gonna be marrying him, And we have to it that Asahi ends up talking to his underlings about having to get a lot of information, and that his plans to marry the ultimate woman, a possessor of the god tongue, will help me out, And we have to it that Erina explains to Souma and Megumi about her mother, about having the god's tongue, It's the pride of the family, but, at the same time, it's also despairing because we get to know in last episode that Erina's mother suffers from something that she can't really eat the food anymore because, I don't know if it's either because it's too disgusting to her or she just can't eat anymore because the flavor just sucks really badly, or she knows about it already, And we have to it that Asahi tells his underlings that his crossed knives will be able to save him from that fate, And Erina even explains to someone that I don't have the hope that I could save my mother from her despair. And I think Cyber Asahi might win, but Cyber Asahi can help me out. And I know this may sound really tough on you, Soma, but I hope you might lose or something. But we have to it that Soma doesn't really care, as he's not really into these stuff here and there. And we have to it that we get to see Soma, Erina, and Cyber Asahi going through their matches, Obviously, from the get-go, just like in the manga, we have to it that, they go through the matches so easily, winning it no tomorrow, And we have to it that that the next match will be Soma and Cyber Asahi, Something that I've been looking forward to, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people just don't care, because of what the heck is happening to the series, which I can understand why. Understandable. But that aside, we have to it that Soma says, we don't even know what the next team in the match will start, And ask Megumi for a match, And we get to know about Joichiro and the other guy, I forgot, ends up meeting each other again. And we have to it that Cyber Asahi tells that he had over 500 cooking battles with Soma, so it doesn't matter. And we also get to know Soma's mother, And her name is Yukihira Tamako. And she was like a funny clown kind of sense eventually, but, due to natural disasters, that can happen to anybody. When it comes to health or something, she ends up having to pass away, and it kind of upsetted Soma and Joichiro a lot. But we have to it that, Cyber Asahi, he was actually a student to Joichiro, and Joichiro gave him a chance, hey, you want to come with me? And Cyber is like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to come with you. And Asahi's like, Soma, how could you take away the very father figure I have, etc. And, yeah, I mean, Soma had a mother, but, I guess she passed away when he was at a young age, and that's when he started to have cooking battles with his father, and that's when he started to have a lot of powerful experience, that could got him to a certain level. And we have to it that Joichiro ends up saying hi to Asahi, and he says, one thing for sure is, I'm going to kick your son's butt, you hear me? So watch me, etc. And we have to it that, even though Erina won her match, it looks like to me the face she has looks really terrifying, And we had to it that Cyber Asahi and Soma ends up having a small talk with each other before entering the arena, And we had to it that they end up and we have to it that Cyber Asahi tells Yukihira Soma, hey, I heard that you want to get your revenge match on me, and I know that, but you're not going to get your wish, because I'm going to win, and I'm going to get everything I want. And we have to it that Yukihira Soma's like, look, I'm going to tell you this. If you could beat me, you could do whatever you want, but I'm going to tell you off the bat right now, you alone would not make Nakiri happy. And we have to, he goes like, that means a lot coming from a little boy from someone like you. I'm like, don't underestimate this guy. I mean, he may lose now and then, but he has his tendencies to come back stronger. And we all know that. We have to it that Souma actually battled Tsukasa Eishi all night, which is really hilarious. And we have to it that even though everybody seems to be on Yukihira's side, Yukihira actually has some friends from the Polar Star Dormitory cheering him on, And we have to it that Saiba Asahi's like, well, I'm just going to have to make you look bad, because I'm going to kick your butt no matter what. And he even tells Yukihira Souma, you think it's time for having distractions right now? And Souma's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm looking right at you, bruh. And we had to it that, that Asahi says, here's one thing. The only way I'm going to find great satisfaction of defeating you is using the knife that's superior to yours. And Yukihira Souma's like, that's fine. In order to surpass my dad, I face his knife head on. I can never ask anything more than that. And those two were actually getting ready to go against each other, ready to start whatever to start, And we have to it that, that Erina's mother says, I like you guys' passion and your freaking energy. So I'm going to give you guys a theme. There are cuisines known around the world known as the 5 grand cuisines of the world. There are so many theories about them, such as French, Chinese, Turkish, Indian, Italian. Those are the 5 that are the most impactful of the entire world. So, I'm going to give you guys as your theme of this match to challenge yourselves and see what you guys are truly capable of. You are to combine all 5 of them into one big dish. And you have 180 minutes, which is pretty much, without a lot of confusion, 3 hours. And everyone's like, whoa, are you serious? You have to combine 5 grand cuisines into one dish and create the ultimate cuisine. And we had to it that Souma's friends are saying, I managed to combine 3 best soups at the blue preliminaries, but it's impossible to combine all 5 in grand cuisines. Even someone's like, each of those completely different methods, cooking methods, all into one dish. And we had to that Yukihira someone's like, well, if I can't do something like this, I'm not going to do something to satisfy Nakiri Erina's mom or something, And Asahi is like, hey, is it okay for you to start thinking right now? Because you don't got much time to think. And someone's like, well, aren't you confident? He goes like, well, I got crossed knives after all, man. Look what I can do. He ends up showing his abilities right now. Even Dojima, finally, I remember his name, ends up saying, oh my gosh, this goes beyond the 5 grand cuisines. He has knives for every form of cooking, And he ended up doing cross knives from curry knives, and then he ended up chopping ginger, green onions, and herbs in an instant, and now he's adding them into chicken broth such as that has speed, and he ended up doing cross again, and he ended up using spice grinder used in Indian cuisine, And he's precisely heating those spices with oil. He's bringing out the active ingredients in a wonderful aroma. And he's using different crossings to actually do every step of the prep, Even right now, Tsukasa says, it appears he's using even more crosses than in his battle with me, As he continues on, he ends up using shark fin inside that's a steamer, and he ends up using Jorichiro cross with with the claws, and he said he's running them along shark fin's fibers, at tremendous speeds. And we have to it that even with authentic Chinese cuisine, you stew the shark fin in passion soup or oyster sauce to enhance its flavors, as Kuga mentioned, And he's able to let the flavors soak even more into the shark fin, as Takumi Aldini says, and he ended up using Jorichiro cross with Tsukasa Eishi's grating knife, And he ends up cutting up a certain ingredient so precisely and incredibly, And they end up saying, oh, he's an incredible chef who can master any preparation tool or method in an instant. Even right now, Takumi Aldini is like, by crossing things with Joricho-san's talents, he's become even more precise. And we had to it that Joricho's thinking in his mind, but this takes more out of me than you'd think. If I let my guard down even for 1 second, the balance between the flavors will be ruined, And we had to that Asahi ends up having some strange imagination about the people he beaten, like head chef Reina Kumari saying I know you make an excellent dish. You defeated me, you know? And there's one that says to understand spices is to understand all of nature. Elder Shahi. And we had to it. There's another one that says the most important thing when making Donjuma is a pliable heart, you know? And Nadia Dogubazati. And then he says, the reason I'm able to take on this dish is because all you guys are with me. And everyone's like, what the hell? Are you serious? I can't even feel for him because I have no idea who those guys are. And even the sergeant says, well, the truth is he just forced them all into battles and stole their tools. And he goes like, I'm sure none of them actually feel that generous towards him, you know? Even Dojima says, you know, it's similar to the training at Totoki. Yet that boy is able to master the tools just by using their tools. Even like Saizumon is even questioning that. And we have to it that Saiba Asahi says, like, hypothetically, let's say there's a chef who wandered the culinary world, lost his way, and got swallowed up in the storm. I'd be able to get much further than that man. I'd leave the storm behind in no time. I could come up with any new dish or anything else I want. And we have to it that Tsukasa A, she's like, hey man, if Yukihiro loses this damn match, man, Nakari will literally be swallowed up by darkness, and all outside chefs will lose credibility. The only hope of ever making my mother's wish come true is for Saiba Asahi to win. Even Erina thinks that. And even Yukihiro Souma, he says it this way, oh my gosh, I feel much better now. Let me see here. I mean, at first glance, you got a decent chance, but it's basically a cheat codes version of all the training we've done, right? So pretty much, Souma says to Asahi, like, what you're using is just simple, easy cheat codes instead of real skills, you know? So we're pretty much somewhat on the same level. So I guess I better hurry up and catch up, you know? And we add to that Saiba Asahi is like, well, that what makes you so naive. Go ahead and try if you think you can catch up to me, okay? And Souma ends up wearing his headband and says, just you wait, Saiba Asahi. I will make a dish that will shock you. And we have to it as Souma and Asahi end up staring at each other while Erino can only watch in the distance in between them, you know? And preview of next episode is called The Taste of Failure. So looks like to me one will fail, one will succeed. But who is it gonna be? So yeah. Anyways, I thought this episode with the match with Yukihiro Souma and Saiba Asahi was really nice. I know you guys might be thinking, hey, it's just Asahi cutting up these ingredients and all that. Well, I think they did a nice job on that despite what's happening, you know. And I'm looking forward to next episode because I hope they do this right and become somewhat of a turning point for me. I mean, like, and despite what happened. Now, I know you guys might be thinking, I think you're giving it too much hope because after what just happened. I know, but there are some things that I still like to see animated, well done, you know, and pretty excited, etc., you know. So yeah, like I said, I will give out my final thoughts and my final thoughts overall when we reach that tipping point, you know. And once that reaches its tipping point, then that's when I'll start talking and explaining, etc. So yeah, like I said, looking forward to next episode, and hopefully it'll be done right. Even though, like, despite what happened, and even though it's not going to save it, you know. So, yeah. Like I said, that's about it, people. Looking forward to next episode. So, until then, I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!